Guys.
So here we go. It's going to be the first of 3 races today for the Legends Racing UK Series. They are the first 2 races on the bill. There's this race, then the lunch break, so that's when we'll pause our feed for the time being. Yep. Then we'll go into the straight back in for the second Legends race, and then it'll be racing all the way to the end of the day when the pickup trucks qualifying session is the last session on track. So brace yourselves, guys. Pin back your ears and hang on to your hats. It's McKay, and Mickle on the grid. You couldn't script that better if you tried, and they're making their way down the straight with the red lights about to go out. When they go out, we're racing for the first time this weekend, and it's for the Vortex Challenge Legends Cars Championship. Get ready, guys. And it's go. Great start on the 81 of Euan McKay. McKiller's already through in a 3rd position. He's got a great jump on the lights, and he might try and go down the middle of both of them into Paddock Hill Bend. It's a tricky start, and Mickle's actually had to get baulked. The number 50 has gone sideways, so that's the 81 getting into the lead of Euan McKay. So McKay is your leader in the first part of the run up to Druids. Mickle is trying to tiptoe his way into 3rd position, and there's a lot of drivers spinning. There's a spin in the mid-pack. I think that was Ben Power doing a pirouette at the back of the field, and the scrap for 2nd place is anybody's. It's nearly 4 wide on the run down to Graham Hill Bend, but on the inside line it's tippy-toeing, and the 81 of Daniel McKay is able to get away. Euan McKay is able to get away. It's McKay's 1, 2 and 3 at the moment, with the 66 of Whitelegs side by side with Mickle for 4th place.
They are powering where they're tandeming for 2nd place. I don't know if that's even possible. Legends, anything is possible. They're now side by side for 2nd place. They're 3 wide as they go up through Surtees and up towards Clearways. They're 4 wide now. You can't do that, lad. With the Legends, you can. They are defying physics casually. 3 wide as they come out of Clearways. 4 wide as they come out of Clearways, as they're piling up onto the start-finish straight. And I'll tell you what, the only one of Euan McKay is sudding off from this field, and I don't blame him, because that is an angry battle pack behind him. They are 2 by 2 by 3 by 2. It's like Noah's Ark on open day back in the pack.
They are so tippy-toey through Paddock Hill Bend. The circuit is still very damp. It's misleading because the bright sunshine and the blue sky makes us think that the circuit is bone dry. It's not. It's still very, very slippery out there, and there's a lot of surface moisture on the circuit. The drivers are actually having a really difficult time keeping the cars under control, and it's 4 wide again on the exit of Druids. How many times is that in 2 laps we've gone 4 wide? At least 5 now, and we've got somebody off onto the grass. That looks like Patterson in the 3, gets sideways, but he manages to get it back together. Anthony's going around on the exit of Graham Hill Bend, and the 43's gone around as well. That's Mercer. So here we go. Racing has started in earnest, and drivers are starting to lose the back of the cars. Anthony's gone around, Mercer's gone around, so they're getting back onto the circuit as quickly as they can. But several drivers having some problems then on the first part of the race here. But out in front, it's McKay, 1, 2, and I think 3 still. No, that's Parker. I told you he was quick in the wet. In 3rd position now, the 13, Jack Parker, is closing down on the 91 of Daniel McKay. But it's the brothers Grimm in 1st and 2nd place, Euan and Daniel McKay. And then in 3rd position, it is Jack Parker, with Mickle in 4th position, struggling at the moment to keep ahead of Whiteleg.
He has not advanced from his starting position yet at all, although I have a feeling that maybe in part so that Nathan Anthony's already tearing through the back end of this field. He is determined. He will be a man on a mission now, and he'll be using that rage to good effect of making that mistake up there. They're still 2 by 2 up through Druids. That's just normal for them now.
We've got somebody was very, very slow on the way up to Druids, and now they've picked up racing speed again. I'm not quite sure who it was that was tumbling down the field, but we've certainly got a couple.
Patterson getting into the back of the 94 there.
That's Granger, so a little bit of a battle there with those. We've got 2 off at Graham Hill Bend. That's the 44, so that's Jensen going off there with Will Gibson. So they've both gone off at Graham Hill Bend and both recovered it. So several drivers trying to make it up. And the 43 of Mercer struggling again on the way through, just to keep in front of Carl Monnery for Graham Hill Bend. This circuit's still very wet indeed. It's misleading because the drivers are, to us it looks bone dry. Yep. There's still a lot of surface water out there. No spray coming up, but it's still very damp indeed. And here comes Paul O'Brien, having spun on the warm-up lap. He's up to 5th position now, taking on Mickle into Paddock Hill Bend, and he's through. John Mickle is a sitting duck there, and Paul O'Brien gets through in a 4th place. I know that Alton Parkey was dominant. Not so here. We've got a real championship fight on our hands now.
Your prediction of another clean sweep for John Mickle looks like it's going out the window here. But what I will say is that at Graham Hill Bend, I always think it's probably the most underrated corner on this track, because you're coming downhill there. You've got through Paddock Hill and Druids, which are the famous corners. You get right down here, you've got a huge amount of G-force pushing down towards the car, making you basically want to push straight on up the hill again. and especially in wet conditions, there's about 3 or 4 racing lines out there right now.
Oh, contact! Contact to Graham Hill Bend!
Paul McKay, I think that...
James Holman had nowhere to go, and it looks as though Paul McKay, the pole position man, just locked up, went straight on, and Holman had nowhere to go but into the back of him there, so that's held up James Holman. He's lost about 2 or 3 places.
Thank you, Paul McKay, for the live demonstration of what I was just talking about.
Yeah, you were talking about it, and he just went and did it right before our eyes. So it's McKay first and third now, because Parker has made the move for second place, and now it's bumper to bumper, almost literally, as Daniel McKay gets onto the tail of Parker. 4th place is O'Brien, 5th is Mickle, 6th is Ben Power, pushing his way through. Then it is Connor Mills, Patterson's 8th, King is 9th, and Granger is 10th.
James Holman looking up the inside as they go into paddock. He's starting the combat. He was drawn way down the grid. An early jinx for me. I think my first one of the weekend. There's probably going to be many more where that came from. But this battle for second is really starting to heat up here. This is James Parker.
Oh, Parker's run wide into Graham Hill Bend. He's just going to be able to catch that.
He tried and lunge back up the inside, but he got the throttle too early, and he slid, well, almost slid all the way around, but he got well out of shape there. That's the temptation there. You see the gap and you feel like you have to go for it, but suddenly your foot weighs about a ton heavier. You stand right down on the gas and get completely out of control. The 65 is having a crack at the 35. That'll be Poncelet versus Neil Shenton there in that little battle pack there. There are battle packs wherever. It's literally 2 by 2 by 2 right now. And the battle for second is enthralling because it looks like McKay gets a great drive out of clearways and he just pushes Parker down the straightaway. This is Talladega Nights tandem style. They're bumper to bumper literally. And that's exactly what the legends have bumpers for that use. It's a polite shove. It's a, excuse me, pardon me, I'm coming through. But James Parker's just keep it knocking. You ain't coming in.
Well, Alton Park was an absolute daydream for John Mickle, getting 3 wins out of 3, but now it's turning into a bit of a nightmare because he's got O'Brien having got past him and pulled away, and now Ben Power goes up the inside into Druids, takes the place convincingly, so John Mickle down to 6th position. It's no fairy tale in the wet for John Mickle.
He looks for the switchback, but he wisely backs out of it because the switchback out of Druids doesn't really work, so he puts him on the outside of Graham Hill, which is a one-way ticket to hell. And no return ticket.
3-way scrap for 7th place behind them as well. That's the 82, I should say, leading that little pack.
Connor Mills, Patterson on the inside into McLaren.
Yeah,
by the looks of it, he's getting it. He's going to get it. Lovely move. That's a very clean move.
Yeah, Patterson gets the move done into Surtees. Out of McLaren, though, it's going to be very close because Connor Mills is holding him at his word and trying to get him on the outside line. And don't forget, right behind them is now Henry King. Gobby has moved his way up into 9th position. The lead battle. Parker has gone onto the inside of 81. Euan McKay. It's a 3-way scrap for the lead, and he's going to leave it late on the inside line. Euan McKay's going to hold him around the outside. No, you don't, sir. And Jack Parker might get a great run up towards Druids. So 3-car battle for the lead, and it's going to be very intense indeed because he's got a family of McKay brothers to try and beat here as Jack Parker. It's a very close fight between these 3 up front. Euan McKay in first, Daniel McKay in 3rd position. So Jack Parker at the moment is the meat and the McKay sandwich as they make their way through Graham Hill Bend once again. Parker trying to get the sweep round the outside of the 81 Euan McKay. Can't quite get the move done.
Well, he has the dilemma right now that any move he makes on the leader is going to leave himself open to the 3rd place battle. That's the ultimatum that Parker finds himself in right now. He is really caught between a rock and a hard place. But I'll tell you what, all he's got to do right now, well, I say all he's got to do, make it sound like the simplest thing in the world. What he's got to do right now is try and focus out the front window, not in the rear view mirror. Because if you start mirror driving right now, you're going to lose the leader. And it is a 3-car pain train up front right now. Pain train is folks, it's my sort of term for when 2 or more cars are sort of nose to tail. It's a train, and it's more often than not going to end in some pain.
So Parker having another look on the outside of Paddock Hill Bend and then trying to cut back to get the switch for Druids, but Euan McKay parks his car perfectly on the middle of the circuit towards the braking zone, then tucks it back to the left, so he's not going to get through there. They're all wide through Druids corner. They are all going on the wide line, nowhere near the curbs, because you get the feeling if you go anywhere near those curbs it's going to spit you out sideways. And again, these top 3 getting closer all the time. Parker tippy-toeing on the exit of Graham Hill Bend. He's got the draft on the back of the 81 of Euan McKay. He might get a chance in the Surtees here. He's side by side on the inside line. Euan McKay's trying to hold it on the outside line, but it's not going to happen. Parker takes the lead, and Euan McKay is now trying to hold off his brother Daniel McKay, who sweeps by as well. So it's 1 and 2 positions lost there for the race leader Euan McKay, who goes down from 1st to 3rd in a heartbeat.
Well, it looks to me like he thought he had McLaren covered, but then James Parker, as he has done a few times in this race, he just feinted, threatened the move, through the block, and then through it again. As McKay is coming straight back, he is fed up of he's not going to be kept in third for too long. He's having a look on the inside of the other McKay for second. He has to tuck back in. These three are literally glued together. And now, we may have a battle for the lead on for our hands. These two have been glued together. And we just found the same thing we just had before. You go for the lead if you're in second in this current battle, and you're immediately under attack from the third place car. You don't know where to look. You literally need eyes in the back of your head right now if you're in this lead 3-car battle.
Well, Parker just about holding on to things in the leading battle between the three. O'Brien is closing up in 4th position. He's catching this trio. Power is 5th, Mickle is in 6th position. Patterson has finally got the better of King, although he goes a little bit wide in Graham Hill Bend, manages to collect it before going onto the grass. 9th is the 82 of Connor Mills, and in the top 10 now is James Holman. He's made up 5 places in the last 3 or 4 laps, and he's got himself into the top 10, so great work from Holman to get past the 74 of Robert King. 65 Ponsolet is next, then it's Granger, the 35 of Shenton, the 44 of Jensen, and then the 32 is next of Derek Pierce.
Here we go, the lead battle spicing up. Daniel McKay looking to the inside as they draft down the front straight away. He's looking for an impact hill. He's got a nose, I think, and the nose is all you need. No, he doesn't. He's had his nose chopped off brutally by Parker there. He's throwing all the blocks right now. And meanwhile, Euan, he's come on, can I come and play? I want my lead back. And Daniel McKay is desperately throwing blocks, and he's like, no, I'm the one going for the lead right now, not you. He doesn't know where to look right now. This is awesome stuff.
Well, Euan and Daniel are working together to try and intimidate Jack Parker into making a mistake, and there was a huge tank slapper on the way out of Paddock Hill Bend from Jack Parker. The back end twitched all over the place, and he got it under control just about in the nick of time. But here comes Daniel McKay on the back of Jack Parker, and on the back of him is Euan McKay. McKay's going to try and make a move to second place if he's not careful on the inside line. Great battle at the moment between these two, but we're on the final lap, so it's anybody's guess as to who's going to get the win. Parker goes wide into McLaren and Clearways, and Daniel McKay's not got the acceleration off the corner. Euan McKay's going to get through, and Euan McKay's got a great job down at Clearways. It's going to be these two side by side for the finish line. Euan McKay's got it. McKay's got him, and he punches his fist in sheer jubilation. McKay gets him on the finish line. Brilliantly done. Parker second place, third for Daniel McKay, and it was close for 4th position between Power and O'Brien. Power just pipping O'Brien for 4th place. Mickle hanging on to 6th position in front of King gets 6th position in front of his teammate, and there's a spin on the way through Paddock Hill Bend. Don't tell me that's the race winner celebrating. No, it's not. It's the 57 of Gibson spinning on the last lap there. So, an incredible battle for victory, and it's taken by the 81 of Euan McKay. Started from the front row of the grid, and he's got to win. Look at him sliding around all over the place. He is absolutely delighted with that victory. I would not be surprised if that was actually his first win in the Legends Racing UK Series, the way he's celebrating. And absolutely delighted, Euan McKay. They drew the grid perfectly, 1, 2 and 3 for the family, and as long as they got one over the line in first place, I think the team would have been absolutely delighted. But Euan McKay takes the victory here in the first race of the Legends Racing UK Series, and absolutely delighted Euan McKay, celebrating in fine style as he gets the sprint out of the final turn to beat Jack Parker on pure speed. What an amazing start to the weekend.
Oh, that was extraordinary. It was like it happened in slow motion. He come through Clearways and James Parker was fending off Daniel McKay. McKay went to put the foot down and got loose coming out the corner, and Parker thinks, right, I've got it made, and then suddenly Euan McKay slices past Daniel and then goes, right, I'm going for it. And at one point I think he was on the grass right up against the pit wall as he went through. That was a power move out of my way. I am taking this win. The third place car jumping up and scaring everyone at the top end of town. What a move. And he was punching his fist in the air through the front windshield as he came across the line. I don't blame him one bit. That's got to be one of the most thrilling races I've seen, one of the most exciting, but one of the most satisfying he's ever won.
Well, an absolutely fantastic display from Euan McKay there. Brilliant performance, brilliant racecraft, and he manages to pip Jack Parker at the very last. Daniel McKay finishing up in third position ahead of Ben Power, with Paul O'Brien, John Mickle and Henry King across the finish line. It looks as though, no, do you know what? They've given it to Mickle because they thought they came across the line, King just in front of Mickle, but the gap between them was .024. That's how close it was. So it just goes to